The Switch 2 is unbelievably pricey. It's gonna be dead. Wii U sales coming up again. It's selling out everywhere. Best game console release of all time. It's gonna be the best thing ever. So we need to talk. The Switch 2 situation is insane, but for real, there's been a lot of discourse going on about the Switch 2, and I think we all maybe need to just chill out a little bit. But so a lot of people were going on about how Switch 2 is going to fail, prices are terrible, no one wants to get it. But now that the pre-orders have gone live today, if you didn't know, which if you're in the gaming sphere, you probably did know, and if you didn't know, you're probably watching TikTok and not playing video games. But after the pre-orders went live, things got a bit chaotic. Pre-orders have been mostly sold out really quickly. So a lot of people are like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be super popular. It's the next biggest thing. It's gonna be the one of the biggest console releases of all time, at least launch releases." There's this quote being spread around about how 2.2 million applications to pre-order the Nintendo Switch in Japan store from Furukawa. So that's a big number. But I think we need to. I feel like people are glossing over something here a little bit. I think we need to look at something important. It's applications to pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2, not actual pre-orders. People are acting like these are actual pre-orders. First of all, this means they don't have enough stock. They've said that there's more people who have applied than we were expecting. So even if every single one of these people who applied would get a Nintendo Switch 2, they can't. They don't have enough stock. But this is the thing that really bugs me, is that these are applications to pre-order the Nintendo Switch 2. These aren't actual pre-orders. And this bugs me so much because people are like basically saying these are confirmed numbers. No, it's free to sign up for this. I do not get why people are like, "Oh, it's going to be the hugest launch ever because of this one thing." Now, I'm not saying it's not a high number that will pre-order these, but it could also be a low number. We don't know. These are just theoretical numbers. It's a complete unknown because I can't speak for everyone else, but I do know there are people, including me, that will pre-order something and then cancel it later. And these aren't even pre-orders. This is just, hey, would you like the chance to pre-order? I can think of so many reasons why somebody would do this. Like maybe they don't have the money for it, but they're hoping that by the time it comes out, they will. But maybe they won't. So they apply anyways because they hope that they will. Or maybe they don't even want the console, but they're like, hey, maybe I can sell it for money when it comes out. Maybe you make a couple $100 off of eBay or something. Maybe some scalpers asked a bunch of their friends to sign up for them so that they could sell it for, get their friends, and then, I'll pay you for this, and then I get all this, and then I get your Switch that you didn't even care about. Maybe it could just be FOMO. Like these things, like a lot of people are FOMOing about this, and like there's gonna be so much Switch 2 stock in the future that like the FOMO is just like it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. Or it's entirely possible people just sign up just to see it. Like they didn't even want to buy it. They just thought, hey, I just want to see what will happen. Like there's kind of a similar thing that happened with Brexit in the UK. People voted to be like, hey, I want Brexit to happen. They voted for Brexit even though they're like, it's not gonna happen. I don't want it to happen. I'm just gonna vote for it because yeah, why not? Like, and then it actually happened because like they were like people will just do these things for free. They'll just sign up, but not necessarily actually buy. I don't see this as an actual number, like actual pre-order sales. That's what you need to actually look at, and these aren't actual pre-order sales. So a lot of people are saying that all the naysayers are wrong, and I don't quite think so. I do think that the Switch 2 could still be in trouble. Like I'm not saying it's going to be Wii U levels bad or anything like that. I think it will be fine, but I also think it could be in trouble. I think the first year will be very important on seeing how well the console does. And I know people are going to point out, oh, the pre-order sold out so quickly. I think that's a combination of FOMO and Nintendo fanboys and scalpers, because for a couple of reasons. So one, pre-orders for Costco went up at 15 hours ago. Eventually, it sells out, but not instantly like every other store. It's still there. It's still there at Costco, and like they're like all the other ones like Walmart and like are like so like still Walmart still has some stock. Like I don't think it was nearly as hard to get. And then there goes Walmart. Like if you were here, I think Costco bundle still, so 15 hours to 11 hours. So that's 4 hours of it still being there. And it took 5 hours for Costco to finally be done. Why I think this is important is because all the other stores that don't have a membership sold out a lot quicker. But you needed a membership. Now, obviously, a membership is going to deter some people, but I feel like if people are being like, oh, people are saying that this thing could cost even more and it would still sell out, and all people had to do would be buy a $65 membership, and then they could pre-order it. Unless Costco got an ungodly amount of units for the Switch 2, I think the majority of reasons why it sold out everywhere is scalpers. As a Pokemon fan, scalpers have been ruining the hobby lately. Like recently, there was like 1,600,000 people in line, something like this, for the latest Pokemon set, and it was speculated that like 1 million of them were just scalpers, were bots, just waiting in line to like we were all in queue just waiting in line to get this. And like people were saying like, oh, 1 million of them were bots and stuff, and it sold out super quickly because of that. And I think we're seeing a similar situation here where a lot of the stock, because stores like GameStop and Amazon and Walmart, they don't have these just go and buy with 1 million bots and everything's gone. And I'm not saying, there's definitely a good chunk of people who do want this, but I think the membership required for Costco stopped a lot of the scalpers and bots from getting this. And this is a launch of a console. Every console sells out. The Wii, dang you, sold out. Like, I don't think this has anything to do with the Switch 2 being super popular. I think this is more, scalpers. I think you have to be pretty ignorant to not realize that all of this is going to sell out from the hardcore fanboys at the very beginning of a launch console. Like, let's look at this. The original Xbox One, the biggest launch in Xbox history, at least at the time, sold 1 million consoles in less than 24 hours. One of the most hated consoles upon arrival sold out, being the biggest launch in Xbox history. So I just think anyone trying to be like, oh, the console's gonna be doing really good because it's sold out on release. How can you say that in this day and age where scalpers run the internet and every console it just sells out because hardcore fanboys are going to buy them all? And that's just the reality. And now, will this be a huge failure? I don't know. I think it'll be fine. But I think we need to still have, I think we still need to do some critical thinking on this because it's not 100% done deal. I do think there is a lot of things that push people from not wanting to get this. This is a wait and see situation of how well it's going to do. We have the first year seeing if this is what the casual market wants, because that's why the Wii and the Switch did so well, was the casual market. You might not like it, but that's why these things have sold so well. And I just don't see the casual market spending 700 here in Canada for a Switch 2 when Lil Timmy's mom was like, "Oh, we already have Mario Kart at home and it's just the Switch." I don't see parents going out of their way to buy a Switch 2 just so that their child can get a better version of a new Mario Kart game. Not at these prices. Like, look at this. We have Mario Party Jamboree and Tears of the Kingdom costing more than Mario Kart World. I don't see how this isn't a problem for people, and I do see this as a problem for people. For more of the casual market, when you have games costing this much here in Canada, especially old games. And if you're seeing these old games that you already have on your Switch costing so much more, why would the casual market want to upgrade to the Switch 2 when they already have these games? Now, this could be an Apple situation where people just love upgrading their Apple phone every year with like the most minimal upgrades, and people buy it, they don't care. But I feel like more people have been conditioned to do that with mobile phones, and there's like contract deals and stuff you can get that make it a lot cheaper. And a phone is much more versatile than a Switch. You can do so much more with it, which is why I don't feel like this is an Apple situation to me personally. I think a lot of people see Switch 2 as just a hobby item, and that's what it is. It's just for video games. So I don't see people wanting to constantly upgrade the way they do with phone that they do with a video game console. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe people will just keep continuously buying it no matter what. Maybe it is an Apple situation that no matter, what criticisms there might be, people will just throw all their money to it because they just want new shiny. But I don't see that. Like, I am constantly seeing online people saying, "Oh, it's so hard to live nowadays with like the economy, and like, oh, we don't have money anymore." Like, so many people complain about having not enough money, and you have this Switch 2 which costs a significantly amount more, and the game's costing a lot more. And I just don't see a lot of people wanting to get it at this price. Which is why, again, I think we're seeing just a lot of scalpers. Earlier today, I was pretty easily able to get I got a pre-order just to see if I could from Best Buy. And you know why I got it from Best Buy? Because they have a thing where when you're going to buy, you have to send them your phone number so that they send you a code that you have to validate. Otherwise, you cannot pre-order it. One per customer. You have to have a phone number. They actually have some sort of security against people just instantly buying it out with bots. And I'm pretty sure they still have stock there on Best Buy because of this reason alone. Or at least they did for multiple hours. I waited a couple hours, I was in and got mine. So I genuinely do feel that this is just a thing that scalpers are ruining, and it probably would still sell out eventually, just not as quickly as it did if we just eliminated the scalpers from this equation. And if you go on eBay, you can see that it's flooded with Switch 2 pre-orders that are going for like 1,000 plus here in Canada, plus taxes. It just seems to me that this could be not exactly a Wii U situation. I think it will still do better than the Wii U. The Wii U had a lot of problems, but the Wii U still did sell. It sold out on launch. Like, the problem wasn't the launch, it was everything that came out after the launch. So we need to see how this does post launch. It's not just, I don't think it's just as simple as going, oh, the launch is going well. No. Are we as Nintendo fans just clairvoyant or something and know how everything's gonna go? No, we're not, because do you know how many Nintendo fans thought the Switch 2 wasn't going to do that well? It was like everyone after the failure of the Wii U. So many people were nervous about the Switch 2, or the first Switch, and they were like, it's not gonna do well, or it's not gonna do that good. And it was just nervous. So, but then the Switch had a lot of strong selling points for the casual market. It had the gimmick of being a portable console of like big games, and not just like handheld games, but like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. But the Switch 2, I feel like a lot of the gimmicks, if you're going to go a gimmick route, you need to be something fresh, brand new, amazing. But the Switch 2, all the gimmicks it has are just things we already have had for years. Like the Wii was popular because it had motion controls. The Switch 2, it's got mouse cons. We've had mouses in gaming for years. Or what? It has voice chat? Okay, cool. We've had voice chat in Discord in gaming for years as well. Like, none of this is new and fresh. None of this is stuff that makes people want to go, oh, I want to try this out. It's something new. It's something fresh. No, it's nothing we haven't seen before. So I feel like there goes a decent portion of sales of just people wanting to try some new technology. And one thing that has me personally worried was the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. They showed off a lot of third-party stuff, but they barely showed off any Nintendo stuff for launch and after launch. And after 8 years of Nintendo Switch being the biggest console out there, they barely showed off what they had cooking for the Switch 2, which makes me worried, because if that's all you're going to show for that, that makes me think they don't really have that much to show in general for the next year. I could be wrong, but I feel like if you're going to swing, you got to swing big at that kind of thing. Now, I could just be taking crazy pills and being a conspiracy wacko, thinking that the Switch 2 is going to fail, even though I don't think it's going to fail. I think it will be fine. I just don't think it's going to be a huge success either, because I do think it's alienating a lot of the casual market with these prices and a lot of gimmicks that no one is actually going to care about and people won't want to use. So, will it be a complete disaster at Wii U levels? Probably not. Could it still? Theoretically, yes. But there's also a lot of factors that we're just not considering. Like, the Switch was pretty popular during the pandemic. Like, that's why Animal Crossing was huge, and if they announce another Animal Crossing game for the Switch 2, I think it will still do good. Animal Crossing games have always done good, but it will not do anything near as what it did during the pandemic. And that's another factor we have to consider, is that will there be a pandemic during the Switch 2? Probably, hopefully not. So many other factors we have to consider with, like, there's more handheld gaming available out there now. Like, there's the Steam Deck, which, obviously not as popular as the Switch 2, but it is an alternative, and there's more of these things coming out. So I feel like the market is also getting more saturated because of this, so that will make sales harder as well. And another thing we have to consider about the Japan pre-orders is that they're also getting the cheapest version of the Switch 2. It's $100 cheaper there in Japan to get the region lock version. So I don't see it as like some big shock that the place with the actually reasonable price Switch is doing, it could be and will probably be doing pretty well there. So I personally never thought the Switch 2 would fail immediately. No console really does fail immediately. It's only after time can you actually tell, and we're gonna need to see some nice Nintendo games coming out that really showcase why you have to get a Switch 2 over the Switch 1. So the first year is going to be pivotal in whether this is a flop or not. Again, I don't even think it's going to be a flop, but I also don't think it's going to be huge either. So that's my thoughts on the insane Nintendo Switch 2 situation. However, I do hope the Switch 2 fails because I genuinely do believe that these prices are outrageous. I think there's a much more reasonable price that could happen. And if this is more like the 3DS, like, can we all not just agree that, hey, maybe it's a good thing if this doesn't continue selling out like hotcakes? Like, if it doesn't continue selling out like the Wii, that might actually be a good thing. If it's more like the 3DS, that, like, oh, more people are a bit more cautious with their money, and thus they reduce the price. Would that not, is that not a beneficial thing to everyone except Nintendo? But like, I think the billion-dollar company will be fine if they make maybe a little bit less money than they were hoping for, because I'd rather us consumers get a better deal personally. But that's just my thought. A lot of people are like, "I'll go Nintendo," I guess. This is my company. It's great that we're not having a great deal for us. We go Nintendo. Woo! Everyone loves Nintendo. Don't stop buying. I don't know. I just feel like we could all just agree that, hey, if the prices do go down, that would be better for us. So if you're excited for the Nintendo Switch 2, good for you. That's great. There's a lot of excitement, but I think we could still use our critical heads to be like, hey, maybe it won't be a mega success either. It could be, maybe not. Only time will tell. Let's just think about it. So if you're wanting to get a Nintendo Switch 2, I say wait until the limited edition comes out of Zelda or whatever game you like and then get it.